You want supers? Don't get no more old school than this. Stick around. Hiya folks, Old Man Grognard here, and I'm recording this on my 60th birthday, so this is my 60th review. And as part of that review, I want to talk about a genre that's near and dear to my heart, which is supers. I played a lot of supers in my day. In fact, there was a time when I preferred it over any other kind of genre, even D&D, fantasy, or whatever. I played a lot of champions, so I was a champions meister, although later on I did dabble in things like Villains and Vigilantes, Marvel Face Rip, which is a fun game. And GURPS, I even tried GURPS Supers, and Mutants and Masterminds, which is my second favorite after Champions. And so I think that puts me in a good position to judge whether a supers game is good or not. I mean, not good or not. I mean, that's subjective. Whether it works or not for me. If it works for me, it may not work for you, or vice versa. Just, caveat emptor, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, we're here to talk about Guardians by Night Owl Workshop. Now, you probably know these people from other reviews I've done of their products, like Freebooters, Raiders of the Lost Artifacts, things like that. And here's the Guardians book. 102 pages. That's it. And they do a really good job of it. Now, little background on the supers thing. It usually goes two ways. You can either do a point buy system like Champions or GURPS Supers, or you basically roll up a character and roll on a chart for powers and such like that, which is mostly like Marvel Face Rip and other games like that. Mutants and Masterminds is an interesting hybrid between the two. That works for the most part. As I got older, I've decided I don't want to deal with a lot of stuff and make my game simpler, so I don't play Champions all that much anymore, and I do not DM it. Oh, that's a lot of work. Too much number crunching for me right now. So, I like Guardians because it has a really good feel and a really good approach to it. Here's what the book looks like. It's a one column, real easy to read like their other products. This is the ability score modifiers chart, which is very important. Later on, I'll tell you about that. This is one of the classes. You have 4 classes. You have bruisers, super agents, power wielders, and gadgeteers. There's also in the back a 5th class called fighter, which is mostly for NPC, non-powered, ordinary Joes that kind of leans towards things like the cop, the FBI agent, or something like that. Here's the power list. It's a 2-page list, or a 1-page list, I should say. What I like about it is they grouped all the powers and themes on the table, but you do get complete alphabetical power descriptions, which makes it a lot easier if you want to theme super. Equipment, of course, plenty of equipment. Cars tells you how to do headquarters, tells you what to do about gadgets if you have gadgeteer types. It starts you out with a story hook, a 2-page adventure. It's more like, okay, here's the story, you do the scenes, decide how you want to do this. And in the back in the appendix, it's got a lot of tables to help you build adventures. Now, here's how it works. Creating a character. Basic 6 stats from D&D, okay? Then you choose an origin. You can choose things like being a human or a cyborg or an alien. And this is what gives you the numbers of things you need to be a super. In other words, it gives you your starting gifts, powers, limits, and issues. Here's how it breaks down. Gifts, perks, filthy rich, headquarters, car, connections, things like that. Okay? Powers, self-explanatory. Limits and issues are basically disadvantages broken down the middle. Limits are what limits you as a super. Take extra damage from X, you're hunted by X or something like that. Limits, issues are the real life stuff. You have a dependent, you have bad press, you have a job you have to deal with, right on down the line. You don't get any extra stuff for this, but you have to take them. I personally, I would give you like an extra whatever, depending on how many you take, but that's up to you and the GM. And there's a lot of that in this game, which I like. I can handle this. Then you go ahead and pick a class, and the classes go up to level 10. Let's see what else we got here. The classes usually give you a few other things. They tell you how many XP you need, your hit dice. Each class has a different set of hit dice, like the bruisers have a D12. Saving throws, when you get a new power or gift at what level, and energy points. Energy points, powers. Now, you get to pick or roll your powers. If the GM wants to, they can let you pick them, which is nice when you have a themed table, because like they put all the fire powers together, they put all these ability powers together, etc., 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 the energy powers together, that kind of thing. Now, so what you have here is a character with a super overlay. Now, I've seen this. This is a good way of doing class and level for supers, because I've seen it fail real bad. Soul Rage Sentinels, D20. But it works here, because it just fits over like an overlay. And you've got the base character, in case you want to do. This is where that chart comes in. See this basic ability modifiers? Okay, powers and gifts, mostly powers, will modify your stats, certain ones, if you take them. Because say you get 4 powers, and if you want enhanced, it says enhanced ability, which is like say enhanced strength. If you notice, the numbers on the left here are numbers that add to your damage up to strength 35. Then you start getting full dice plus that. This is funny because I had a hard time wrapping my head around this game. I kept staring at that chart and going, what do they mean? Points, this, that, and the other thing. And then a couple nights ago when I was going to bed and I was reading it and I was getting ready to turn out the light, and I just went, I get it. I get it. Okay, they've simplified it. So nice. I love it. I love it. So, like I said, they're grouped by theme, the powers. I don't find it as detailed as Champions, but I find it very flexible. There's a lot of give and take with the GM here. Once you get the basic powers down, you know how in Champions you can modify your, fine tune it. You can do that to a certain extent in the game, but most of it's up to GM and you. What I'm saying is, you can take a power more than once and up it. For instance, growth. Growth will do ×2. If you put another choice in there, you can go to ×4, etc., etc. And this will do it with a lot of powers. Now, most powers, not all powers, but most powers, you use energy points to power them. There are a lot of powers that you don't need it, but the energy points are like 1 or 2 per turn, round, whatever. It's like endurance in Champions, but it also will help you recover hit points. You can use those energy points to recover faster. And there are also certain powers called features. Those are great. You get 3 for 1 on those. So you've got all this. And as far as defense goes, you still have armor class, ascending or descending, just like Swords and Wizardry. And what you do as far as, like, say you take armor, like an armored suit or tough skin or whatever like that, okay, you can up your AC in certain powers, okay? But if you take armor, you get defense points, which means Your AC makes them harder for you to hit, or it bounces off or something. But if they do hit, they take that armor defense, excuse me, armor defense off the total damage. So it's one's for being harder to hit, the other one's to reduce the damage if they do hit. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, 102 pages. This packs a lot into 102 pages. I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to. I want to try and play this with my grandsons or something, and just to try it out because it looks like a lot more fun and a lot simpler to do than Champions. Now, one downside. This is a nitpick, but I'll tell you why. All these other games that they did, like here's Freebooters. They put a character sheet in there, okay? This has no character sheet in it. Now, that may be a minor quibble, but for two reasons. One, I can't find any online. I usually go there if I don't have a character sheet. And number two, of all the genres there are in role-playing games, I feel that the super genre needs a character sheet the most. Yeah, you can get by with a piece of lined paper. That's fine. But if you really, it just needs it because there's a lot of stuff going on here on the sheet. So that's my only gripe about it. Where you can get it. Okay. In print, Drive-Thru RPG or RPG Now, $15. Lulu, $15. Drive-Thru and RPG Now have the PDF for $9.99. And if you want the bundle print plus PDF, that's Drive-Thru RPG Now for $24.99. And that may be on sale, so, keep an eye out. Anyway, that's my take on Guardians. I like it a lot. I haven't played it yet, but I will soon rectify that. So, from me, the 60th birthday, I will say, if you want to talk about that or anything else, oldmangrognard@gmail.com. Until next time, bye-bye!